Since when? That can't be right.
We are tWoTcast, episode 408.
No, he does not.
No. Okay.
All right, everyone, shut the f*** up. Let's ready to record.
We like to start every show by yelling, "We are tWoTcast." Can you do that with me? On the count of 1, 2, 3, go. We are tWoTcast. Now we can start.
The Wheel of Time, re-read podcast, explicit in R, freaking rated. Jono's the wild card, always talking shit. Joe's the straight man, he's a total dick. Tom is still obsessed with X-Men.
Previously on X-Men.
We are
Okay.
It's not starting.
You're viewing tWoTcast, the Wheel of Time re-reread podcast, now covering The Shadow Rising, back to our old stomping grounds, the actual books. With me, as always, is Jono.
Sphincter.
And I'm Joe, and Ghostface, the serial killer, is also here, otherwise known as Tom.
Spoiler for the movies.
Study your math.
Spoiler alert.
There's always two. There's always two. That means one of you is also a killer. One of you is going to die, clearly.
It feels like very... Probably should have gone the other way.
I feel like Jono fits the Matt Lillard vibe of the other guy. You know,
right.
the spunky. Yeah, you're like the funny one.
Oh, thank you.
Tom's the moody serial killer one that really it's all his idea, and you're like the one that's just along for the ride, having fun with the idea of being a killer.
Yeah, we could do that.
I'm way too nice. I would never kill anybody. I'd help you hide the bodies. That just goes without saying.
So many people.
Yeah. honestly, between the three of us, I know for a fact Tom kills the most. Like, just so much unchecked aggression.
Yeah.
Between
He's all
Joe and
over.
me, though, between the two of us, I don't get bothered by anything other than
It's true. I do hate everyone.
the show bothers me. So maybe there's a few people gone there.
You're not to get
But for
bothered.
the
You can
most
just
part,
enjoy killing
yeah.
people.
That's true too. Now I can't say I haven't.
You don't have to be bothered. You just have to like killing.
I don't even understand.
Jono, it's again. This is.
Yeah.
I mean, think about it from his perspective.
not
In
a-
Stream One, like it's not his idea. You know,
not a
He's
murder
just-
rage
he's just along
spree.
for the ride.
You're just doing it to do it.
Okay, fair enough. All right, like sport fucking. You're
I'd
just
be the
kinda
one that
doing
they
it.
think
You
it
know?
is because we're brothers, and they'd be like, "That's it's obviously Tom," and then they'd be like, "It's probably his other brother,"
They
and then I'd be the
the
red
Oh.
herring.
Communism.
Yeah.
But that being said, you could also
No, it's
pretend
a
like,
it's
well,
a type of
obviously-
fish. It's a communist fish that you tickle out of the water.
But if you could technically try to pass it up for each other, like, oh, we saw Tom last night. It was Joe. So
work?
that'd be kind of.
People
that's the
feel-
whole
I don't-
point of having the two
we really
killers.
look all that much alike.
We don't have to be related to do it.
That's true.
No, we
Good
didn't know
luck
what we
catching
looked like
those killers,
anyway.
then.
We have masks on. What's happening? Get with
Yeah.
it.
Ass.
Yeah, come on.
You're not number two. You're a murder victim.
I was
All
not
your ideas
technically.
are shit.
I wasn't campaigning for anything.
You're not even famous enough to be the first one killed.
Oh,
To
no,
be a
that's-
random.
that's
Random death.
insulting.
Yeah.
You're going to be the
Random
Fonz
death.
principal getting killed.
Who would be the first one killed, Tom?
I don't know, somebody famous.
And just
That's all I got.
All right.
I haven't really thought
a
about
few
it.
options then. All right.
We have a lot of options. Obviously, if we were going to do it in real life, the best option would be Nev Campbell. It'd be a hell of a way to kick it off.
The best
Still alive. I forget. Didn't
The
she
best
say
and
something
only
recently about whether or not she would be involved in Scream 69 or whatever the
She
next
was in
one's called?
Scream 7. She's already signed on to it. It's happening.
Fuck yeah. I like that. I like that a
I
lot.
like that gun. I can't wait to shoot
A lot
that
of people
gun.
here. How many reads is that for real though? Oh fuck. For real?
For the show, it's only technically the second read, but for our personal inventory,
I mean, even when we did it the first time, and we had read them books many, many times over before we did our show. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't have
I've
a
read them
number.
multiple times between doing the show the first time
Yeah.
and this. I don't. I have no idea. A lot.
I don't have a number. It's gone.
I used to. We counted one time to pretty sufficient accuracy, I think, and then
It was
because we
pretty
were getting
dumb.
interviewed for Jordan Con.
It was pretty dumb.
I don't remember,
I'm
but
very
that was
proud
so
of you.
long ago. That was like Jordan Con 5. Like I've written it so many times.
I like that we measure so many times in one.
It was a long time. It was like a decade ago when we actually answered that question. Put to as close to reality as we could possibly figure out.
Yeah, it's still
And guess what? We drank a lot since then, and we're stupider than we used to be.
once
I
through
can tell you
before
that.
every new book, and then multiple
Hey,
times
please don't
also
forget to
in
check
between.
in at the like button as you arrive. Thanks, Glenn. Thanks. Thanks, Glenn.
It's always important to remember
Great.
the people that watch us should actually just be doing the show themselves, and I appreciate
Good
that.
people in Jono. Hello. Hello, Wadakowski. Oh, there's so many people. Oh, hola, amigos. Oh, Aaron D. Simone's here, everybody.
Oh,
Oliver's here.
I meant to check in with how
Hey,
the
everybody.
D-Salones are doing. I should probably do that.
I checked on. They're doing okay. I checked on them.
You're so much better of a person than I. Which is interesting considering the conversation we just fucking had that you're a piece of shit.
Yeah, I know.
Hmm.
Just killing for the joy of it in a senior home dressed as the Grim Reaper.
It's
Oh,
fun too. If you can make it a bit,
yeah. If it's about the show, it's definitely you guys as the killers.
it just makes no sense. It can't be just about the show and have killers. There's only one victim. It's done in 3 seconds.
No, you'd go on a killing spree. Why
we
would you
have-
murder
Yeah,
those
we go to killing spree.
four innocent actors?
There's so many
that
other
don't
like associate producers, like there's directors for the show, like there's writers.
You got the whole writers' room. They're
Oh, you mean
partially
the TV
responsible.
show?
Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Whole writers' room.
How does people work on a TV show?
Yeah.
I don't know. Seems I don't want to go kill the TV show people. Seems pretty hacky. It just seems like a remake of Scream 3.
Yeah, but that's meta,
true.
Tom.
Yeah, that's
A remake of a
imitating
remake.
art.
I guess that
remake of a
is.
sequel.
I guess that is what Scream is. It's supposed to
Yeah.
be. So
Yeah.
all right, never mind.
What would it
fits
be
right in.
called?
Fits right
Twatty?
in.
I went to Twatty
Scream?
movie, but that's really just a name off of.
No, it'd just be called Scream.
Do you think Scream 8 will have 8 A's?
I hope so.
Scream. Scream.
Well, Scream 5 was just called Scream.
Yeah. But
But it's got 5 letters.
I think Scream 4, they just made the A a 4.
Yeah. What did they do for
Scream
5? Was it the S?
6.
No,
they
it's
turned
nothing.
the M into the Roman numeral 6. I'm pretty
So
sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Or maybe
I-
Scream
I-
5. Maybe they turned the M into the V. I don't remember now. I didn't go look
Yeah,
at
I
it.
think the V is in there somewhere for Scream 5. I could be
It
wrong.
works. It works.
Well, since we're not talking about Scream tonight,
What? What are we even
What?
doing here?
what we're
Why are
talking
we
about
doing?
We're
any of
talking
this?
about. I know
is
what
The
you did
Shadow
last summer.
Rising re-reread part 2, chapters 2 through 4, and of course, spoilers for the show and the books in their entirety, because the entire point of us doing a re-read is to also
I've
involve
already
the
read.
fact that the last book has come out.
What if next year and every year after we took a break for the entirety of November and December, and our movie rewatch was just Scream movies? And we came back in January.
I mean, I'm fine with it.
What the fuck?
It's like 2
No.
months.
That's Scream.
We've already done every Home Alone movie and every
Scream.
spin-off.
Screamy twat.
It's creamy.
I gotta.
Dessert.
Okay, boys.
The lowercase s. It's like the Apple of porn companies.
Glenn said, "I'm not sure I've seen more than the first Scream movie." Sadly,
A waste of a life.
not enough Scream for you.
What a
Yeah,
waste
sounds
of
like
a
Glenn,
life.
you got things to do for the next few weeks before our
Yeah,
next episode.
buckle up, get in there.
You've only got 9 more
One a
days.
night.
Not allowed to watch it after Halloween.
I thought you were saying there's
Anyway.
9 more days for the next episode, and I was like, 1 + 2 + 2 + 1. That's not right.
1 + 2 + 2. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Joe.
Yeah.
What
Chapters
are
2 through
we
4?
covering? What are in chapters 2 and 4?
Chapters 2, 3, and 4. We are covering chapter 2, Whirlpools in the Pattern, which is the Bubble of Evils chapter for your memories.
It's from the Bubble of Evil's point of view.
Yeah.
I would read the fuck out of that.
I mean, every time a cock crows, those
Gentlemen,
bubbles
Bubble
of rot
of Evil's
come out. You guys want to get into chapter 2? Little chapter 2.
I am. This is probably one of the most like memorable chapters, really, the entire series. Really, I don't know if it's anywhere near my favorite, but
I mean,
everyone
it's not
knows
my
this
favorite, but
chapter.
it's definitely memorable. It's up there.
Yeah,
One of them.
it's delightful.
Before we get started, we're
It's-
going to do a little bit of a this day in tWoTcast history.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Where's the graphic? Do a graphic.
Right? Do a graphic. All right, do something. I'll make one. The Wind as a character, we have a hilarious bit where Tom rants for at least a solid minute about how the Wind's a character, and it's pushes Rand in the beginning of the book too. It's good. It's funny. It's fun stuff. You should listen to our old stuff. And basically, the end of it is me just saying "dumb Wind."
You spoiled it, and also made it seem way less appealing.
dumb Joe.
Anyway, I just answer. I'm like, that's dumb.
So that would have been probably what, episode 25, 26?
No, probably 14, 12.
Yeah, it's up there. It's up where Tom's saying. I just had it in my podcast.
3 and 4 episodes apiece somehow.
It's episode 14.
I nailed that.
Really hitting our stride early.
From May 24th of 2011.
Could you imagine going back? Oh my god.
I was a
made me so
virgin.
sad. This made me want to shut the
Still
computer and go back inside. God.
Just what are we doing?
Is that
All
what
right,
we
chapter
do? Yeah, what are we still doing?
Chapter 2. Whirlpools in the pattern.
I mean,
Fucking whirlpool
this
right
is the
there.
classic. This is the classic Bubbles of Evil chapter.
Yeah. It's their first Bubble of Evil, right?
Yeah, Moraine explains it in the next chapter.
Yeah.
As a bubble.
This is our new thing for this book.
Well, I guess there's technically like the wind pushing Rand and when he's in Paldara.
Evil.
Oh, yeah.
There's like other
instances.
instances where like I think it's kind of understood that that's like a weak version of what they're experiencing here.
Still our new thing. He made it up for this book. He added it. He's always adding something. Just like last book was what? No, wait. Next book is Balefire.
No, Balefire happened in book 3.
Book
But he
3.
never really dove into it. You know what I mean?
Oh
I
yeah.
feel like
Like,
the
oh, let's
book
get into
3,
this. There's
like,
all
It was
some
just it's dangerous
lore.
and don't do it, and it burns a thread from the pattern. And like
Yeah.
the next book, it's like he's
That
literally
was like
like
a big deal.
yeah, like when Matt dies. The whole like how far and how hot you burn. It's like how far back your thread burns and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think that
He
comes
didn't,
later.
he didn't know what that was when he wrote the end of book 3.
I feel like this is almost an answer to like the weird Taviran shit that happens in book 3. That's just kind of like, like random chance happens and like it's like almost D&D, like whatever the fuck. Here's what was rolled this time. When Rand's just
Bubbles
marching
coming up.
through. What's that?
It's just bubbles coming up.
Yeah.
It's because the pattern is a bathtub and the dark one farts in it.
Just gassy got a hot tub.
And
You
then
can
it gets,
fire herpes off your dick. That
and
seems
then it
dangerous.
gets you.
Very.
No, you have to Balefire her. But then did you even
then you
have
never
sex?
got herpes. All right.
Yeah.
I see how it works.
So here's a question, right? Like, so if you fuck some chick, get the herpes.
Or
And then
man.
Balefire her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you a virgin?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, you have the
Question.
memory of it. Though,
Asking for a
so I
friend.
guess.
I would say.
So dumb.
I would say you could.
On the other
never-
hand, though, if it's
I was like, I wonder if you could balefire the semen, but I'm like, no, you can never make balefire that small. But then again, you can use gateways to make belts. So
Yeah, you can use
You could.
gateways
Oh.
to cut leather.
yeah, that was
You
what we were
can use
talking.
it
Didn't we
as a
talk about this
leather
as a birth
off.
control device? Didn't we talk about this as a birth control device? Like just like has like a gateway, kind of like just at the end of his dick, so he can
I
just.
know I was
shoot
asking the
Philo
important
whole time?
question.
you could use a gateway to come
Did
on
your
her
orgasm
face
still happen?
while you were fucking her.
Yeah,
That'd be
But
incredible.
you
But,
also,
like,
if you missed
I have
that,
no
joke,
idea why anyone would
Don't
ever
miss.
want to do that. Like, you're gonna fuck it up.
I mean, only for her.
Not if you're good
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah. She bled out again. Sorry about that.
You expect, yeah, I mean,
It's so early on.
there'd
She
be-
bled out again.
there'd be a
Sorry about
lot- I mean, you'd kill a lot of people before you perfected it.
Yeah. All right, dummies. Bubble of Evil. I think the reason that we joked about the wind is because, again, the wind happened in the first chapter, but it was really more of a prologue. So the wind happened in this chapter also. So it was really
Happened
weird.
too.
Anyway, Perrin watches Fail, and they're all worried. It's a little Perrin area section of this. It's Perrin Matt Rand. That's the way this
Yeah.
goes.
I
We got the
have a legitimate
Perrin
question.
section. Yeah.
Does Fail have her own room?
Yes. For
We
sure.
never see it, right?
Why would we?
Well,
No,
we
wait,
just-
he- no,
They
we-
are in each other's rooms very late at night.
Wait, don't we? I think he goes into her room at some point.
I think
And
you're right.
Loyal's in the room.
Also,
I think
Jono
you're
asked,
right, but like,
Jono asked this exact question 13 years ago.
oh, did I really?
It was
He goes-
it was way
he
more
goes to her
crass.
room.
He said,
No. He goes to Loyal's room and she's in there. Never mind.
Jono said, "Do you think they're sleeping together?" And I said, "I think that's the softest, weakest way you've ever said, is someone fucking before?" And then we were laughing about how PG Jono asked the question. And then we proceeded to go on for 5 minutes trying to figure out ways to describe having sex involving a smithy. Pounding her anvil came up, quench it in some oil, sparks fly in the smithy.
Opening her
Hot
bellows.
little rod.
Are we supposed to repeat the jokes we did 13 years ago if you're going to tell us
We
that?
were going to anyway. Let's be honest.
I don't want us to repeat
Now-
it. That's the point. That's why I bring it up.
Now we won't.
Right. Yeah, but you asked it.
So again, I asked the audience because I don't fucking remember. Do we actually see like her having her own rooms? Obviously, she's looking around very.
I think Tom's right. I think later in this hanging out in the stone kind of time,
It makes sense for her to have it, right? And
very
especially considering
clearly
how
has her own room.
condescending
Why do
she
you ask?
is.
pumping the bellows.
Thank you. Thank you. That's like I've got that circled. Like, does she have her own fucking room?
I
Because
left a slot car stream early so I could make this one. Hey, DK, thanks, buddy.
yeah,
Oh, no.
Oh, Wadaholics didn't know they share a room. Yeah, maybe.
I like what Wadaholics saying. I like
I mean,
what Wadaholics
yeah.
saying.
Oh yeah, because she's annoyed that they have those rooms because it's like servant quarters esque. It's like a step, barely a step above. Like he refuses to have.
Bullshit. It's a
any
nice
kind
fucking room that's got garnet and fucking wolf eyes. Like it is totally fine.
No, it's like she even says he even says Fael probably hates this room because it's so plain. Because that's like I refuse to,
He has tried to walk backwards as far as possible.
He's like, let's put it this way: if Matt and Rand are on like the penthouse level, like he's a level above.
I'm well aware.
He's like a wealthy merchant in the Stone of Tyr,
which is exactly what she has said her father is. Which, by the way, there are many hints that may or may not be true. In fact, she actually may be more than that. She may be a
I
noble.
really don't think they're sharing a room.
I
Like
mean,
at all.
I can't
But I
remember
can't
for
prove
sure.
it.
I guess let's keep an eye on that as we.
Should we call Maria?
Yeah, let's really watch out for that. We've spent.
Let's
so much
keep an eye on it.
It's a good usage of everyone's time. Where they are. So, legitimate question though for this entire fucking thing.
Are they sharing a room?
Yeah. No, of the three dudes we've got here, Matt, Rand, Perrin, are they virgins? All of them are virgin? Like it legitimately comes up as a question.
Yes, they are.
All three.
Yes.
I mean,
Well,
I feel like that's the right answer.
Matt's doing some kissing and tickling in this.
Kissing.
So I don't. It depends on what that entails.
Yeah.
Is he tickling with his? Is he tickling with his dick? I don't know.
Or his balefire? Wait, what?
Really asking the hard-hitting questions.
Thank you. It's a great fucking question, though, right?
No, I think it
actually
they are.
has some relevant points.
It's pretty clear. I don't know when they would have had time to bang.
I don't know. We've been there for a couple weeks now.
I mean, Matt's been staying up late gambling and drinking like
Yeah,
for
with
a while.
the dudes. A whole bunch of dudes.
Yeah, but I mean,
he's played well. So we're gonna get to Maiden's Kiss in a minute too. Like I think there's a lot of intriguing notes here that may say that parents fucked Fail, and Matt's fucked.
I don't think parents fucked Fail.
I don't think. No.
All right,
I don't think
fine.
so.
I don't know. We're trying to.
And if they haven't, I don't think.
think. Like,
On that note, I don't think they'd be in the same room. I think Wadaholics wrong. I think Tom's right.
Well, I think it's all kind of clear.
I mean,
All right.
parents
So the
very
point here
prudish.
is,
I mean, I think I understood this when I read it when I was like 14.
14, yeah.
It's
fine.
16,
I think it's fine.
17. You're losing it.
well, I think
You're
we're wrong.
losing it.
Yeah, that's a good chance too. So Fail is
Very
probably
We're asking the questions that if we actually got an answer to would be just so unsatisfying. Somebody would tell
Yeah,
me
we just like, all right, they're not.
Sounds
good.
Are they fucking? No, that's boring.
all right. Are they just going
Next.
around? Like, yeah. Oh, okay.
so Fail is
So
trying
he
to
thinks
leave,
he's
but
connected
also
to
wants
Rand and therefore
Yes.
he shouldn't leave. File's wanting him to leave, and he wants her to leave, but she won't do it without him. So they're in a little bit of a
Classic triangle.
quandary.
Yeah.
They would have filmed this chapter word for a TV show or a movie. Whose scene looks most ridiculous? It's Matt's, right?
Oh yeah.
I
But
don't
also,
know. Weirdly,
wanna
I don't
see it
think
like
so.
harder. Do they come out as like
don't-
fully formed human beings, or they're two-dimensional moving around?
Are they like floppy cartoon characters? Is it like Roger Rabbit? Just like they just pour some of that acid shit on it from Roger Rabbit and he's done. Got him. Not even worried about that big cuddle.
Scary if you have the special effects budget. The little rams are great.
But parents just like the actor would literally just be running around the room with his own weapon. Like,
yeah, the parent one
that takes good acting.
that looks like something out of, isn't that Evil Dead? In Evil Dead, Bruce Campbell has that fucking like axe that's doing the same fucking thing.
Oh yeah, so that's how silly it would be to me. I think it's very similar to that.
I was gonna say, what if they cast Jim Carrey as parent? Then it would be.
I mean, so Bruce Campbell's chin, same thing.
Also,
I'm all in.
Also, Jim Carrey definitely. I mean, first of all, he definitely has a wolf dick, a lipstick dick.
That's what I would do if I was making this a TV show or movie. I'd make it a comedy. Not enough jokes in this, this series.
It's our version of the books, but way worse than even
Jim
Ray
Carrey's he does a lot of beard and long hair. He does that look now.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Little
Christian remember saying a few. What did Christian?
Got a real Howard Hughes vibe happening with him.
Oh, how is the show going to do book 4 when none of the Emmons Fielders aren't anywhere near the places that were in the books, nor possess any of the skills of their book counterparts? I think the second part of that question is way worse than them not being where they're supposed to be. Because as we've seen with the show, you can totally just be like, well, they leave to go there from here, and it's fine. And like that's how they do it. But like, I mean, even in this section alone, they talk about how Rand has spent time with Lan every single day, like learning the sword, and that's why they've like grown closer. Like, and I'm just like, fuck, why? Like, all we get in the show is like some old man in one episode randomly in an insane asylum is like, pretend my cane is a sword, Rand, and then like later on he's like, I can fight with a sword, and you're like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know.
They're not going to do book 4.
I want to hear Tom's
haven't done
response now.
books 1, 2, or 3. Why would they start now? They're just going to do whatever the fuck they want because they think the books are bad and they're rewriting them.
Oh man.
Oh
my god, I missed this comment and I'm so sorry I did. Now we know how Jesus was born. Gateway come.
Oh, that makes sense.
Canon. Thank
Immaculate conception.
Conception.
That Maiden's Kiss story tells me that Matt is doing way more than just kissing.
That's what I want to get to.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
but I already agree with that. Yeah.
So, as Joe was saying, she's trying to get the fuck out, but also wants to take him. He wants to stay. He wants to go. Wants her to leave. It's a classic 3-way love triangle where it's confused as fuck.
He's in love with both Rand and her.
It's beautiful. Beautiful. And then a cock crows.
Yeah, the cock crows.
Oh, I
first of 3 times.
Everyone seems to notice. Cock crows.
Everyone notices.
Everyone.
Just the 3 of them, dude. Did anyone else hear the crow?
Technically, Fael did. She heard the cock crow.
Did she?
Yeah, because she's the one who makes the
comment. Did she comment on it? Okay.
Yeah.
I know Matt has like a recollection of like, oh, my dad used to tell me that's a bad omen or whatever, but
you know what his dad was?
But does parent like think about it at all, or does he just hear it and then it happens? Like, does he like think back on that? I can't remember.
I think he recognizes it because like she mentions like, oh, my dad used to tell me, and then he was like, what's that?
White Man said the tiny Rands too. Twat is an Evil Dead ripoff. I forgot about the tiny. Maybe he literally just watched that movie. He's like, oh, this is good stuff.
I've never seen Evil Dead.
What the fuck? Really? Yeah. You would love it. You would love, like, all 3 are wonderful reinterpretations of 80s fucking, because they're all from the 80s, but like slasher films. Fantastic. Maybe from the 70s. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
We just decided we're going to watch a lot of Halloween, and apparently there's 1,000 of them.
Yeah, that was something we did a couple of years ago, and it was exhausting because They got progressively worse real fast.
Yeah, I've never really seen them.
Wadaholic said he folded her clothes, smell of rose petals. Her fucking clothes are in his room. Just saying.
I assumed he was talking about the clothes she was wearing.
Yeah.
No.
But that being said, I'm with
I'm not gonna
Wadaholic. I'll see if it reinforces my theory.
Clothes. Oh yeah, that's what he's smelling. Yeah, he's smelling the fact that they folded rose petals into her clothing. It's accentuating how good her clothes are in his room because she's wearing them. Is my point.
Well, he's doing it wrong.
That is correct.
Christian said there's no way that Perrin and Fael had sex. He's still too stilted around her. He doesn't act. Well, yeah, I agree completely. Yeah, I think this is we're right.
I know we're right.
I'm just gonna say it.
I don't know. People.
She heard the cock grow. Wait, was Matt with Bane and Chiad before Gaul? No, I don't think he was with them.
Oh, I
think they just
hold on. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll pin that one.
I don't think there's any subtext. I don't think there's any.
So technically, Matt and Perrin could be Igloo or Eskimo brothers before Rand ever went in an igloo.
Folded clothes. Wadaholic. He's saying that when her laundry is done, there is shit folded into the clothes to make them smell better, so that when she puts it on later, it smells good. And
in another room.
I'm sorry.
Well, they can't share a room without sex. That's true. But I don't think they are.
No, they're not.
Well, I'm in love with this theory, though. So
I don't think the people that put people in rooms in the Stone of Tyr put unmarried people into the same room together. Just period.
I think they do.
No,
there's definitely no camp counselors making sure they stay in their own bunks, though, because like barely
wander in the hall. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying whoever's in charge of the stone, whatever. I can't remember what that lady or guy.
Oh yeah, that lady's really
They actually mentioned it
absolutely
at this
not,
point, and we forgot.
Anyway, Bubble of Evil, an axe attack. What are you going to do about it?
Through that, you should move to chapter 3.
I mean, this is other than it looking ludicrous in my mind, like I consider it sort of like to be the least of the scary things that happen. Yeah, Matt's like mid round, Rance is terrifying, and Perrin's is like almost humorous.
Like if you had told me that there was a ghost holding it, like, oh, that makes sense. We just didn't see it.
He almost would have been fine taking care of it if Fael wasn't even in the room, because the second he throws her out into the hallway, he's able to handle it. It's just that it kept going for her every time he'd push it away from himself, and then it would come back at him. So it's like the fact that she's there was really the problem. Like if he was by himself, it would have been like, what the fuck? And he would have just slammed it into the wood. It would have been over.
It was magnetism. Yeah.
Oh,
Did I make the joke last time about a hatchet wound?
No, but you
almost certainly. Did you not?
Oh, I didn't.
I mean, not off the top of my head. I don't remember everything.
Okay, maybe that's the point here. The axe is like, well, I've got to bury myself in that hatchet wound, and I open it up.
The axe thinks that.
I like how Perrin yells at her to leave, and she's like, "No, I'm going to help you," and he's like, "You're not fucking helping me."
It is weird, the idea of it like draining life out, like after like it hits the fucking door, and there you go.
Yeah.
It's
kind of similar to what happens with Rand, though, because like he absorbs them later and it's done.
What happens with Matt?
Matt pins it to the wall, pins one to the wall.
But he doesn't feel anything weird happen. Just stops.
The weird thing with Matt is that it's all happening in slow mo. Like it slows time down, and it's all.
In like
and even though he's still falling, he's like throwing knives the whole time. So that's the weird thing.
Amazing.
Yeah, I know, it's spectacular.
It's
all right, onto Matt. Onto Matt.
Yeah, it's the Matrix.
Yeah, it really is. Just throwing just so many different missiles out of his hands. I did like the fact that like it was actually to finish up Perrin and Fael. Like they did have this conversation like about, this is what your best friend does to you kind of thing. And he's like, well, we're gonna go talk to him. Which in no way, if this is an unintentional fucking attack, do you really think it's a good idea to confront him? Like if you're worried about him being crazy already, like do you really think that like this just seems like something that's clearly not Rand's like doing?
We
What is
did
gonna be the
kind of.
point of
We
this
talked about
conversation?
this a little bit, but like, I think the main thing that we were kind of going back and forth, but I think the main thing that I brought up, because we were like, Jono, you were basically like, Rand's never done anything that would make Perrin think that it was him, kind of thing.
I guess
And why
technically I
doesn't he just
disagree.
assume it's a Forsaken and then go check on Rand? And that was kind of
Beginning
our
of book
conversation.
3 is a little bit.
Well, that's
whoopsie
exactly what
of
I
that.
said. Yeah, I was like, well, what about book 3 when he almost brought a mountain down on him? And you're like, oh, never
Yeah,
mind.
good point.
It's a weird knee-jerk reaction, though. You have a lot of enemies.
Strange to jerk your own knee.
Yeah, it's not a. Well,
No, it's not.
is it knee jerk or is he just like, this is the male channeler that might be going crazy that I'm next to right now? Like, is it like really that crazy for him to be like?
Then it is crazy.
I mean, I
Oh,
think
the Dragon Reborn is insane and can channel. I'm gonna go yell at him for throwing my axe at him.
It's exactly right.
What?
Like,
Yeah, but
that's
I
the
mean,
thing
he
is-
could be the one that talks him back off a cliff or something. You know, I don't know. Who knows?
or off of a cliff.
They do have like Perrin and Fael. I mean, they do. There's like a little. There's hints of what the annoying nature of their relationship will become later on in this scene. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Because she's there. It's fucked up.
Well, like
dude.
he's like, she's mad that he threw her outside and handled
I
it
know,
by herself.
I'm kidding. I'm
And then
kidding. Like,
she- and then
I actually have this note that she's not
mad
annoying yet.
until he says something like, "I don't want to watch you die. That would kill me," kind of thing. And like, I'd rather just tie you up and throw you out, like for a lamb to slaughter. And she's like, "Really? You tie me up?" And he's like, "What the fuck? Why
She
are you
was into
smiling
it.
right now?"
Yeah. Again, I can only imagine what some weird edit notes would have been about Robert Jordan's like making jokes about the what all sense he had and like what all because there's so many once you really take extrapolate it just one dimension without even my bizarre perversion, the amount of things he knows just from making a joke about it, she laughed, she didn't laugh, you could really fine tune how to fucking interact with someone if you were at all trying.
His
What
parents'
if-
theme song "Closer" by 9 Inch Nails.
Maybe.
What if the first draft of all these books is just ripe with pornography, and it's 3 times as long as the final book was, and Harry it's just red
and
line.
Harry, it's like just
everything.
just black marker. He's like, that was my only copy of the manuscript, and she's like, and that's why you send it to me first.
And that's why you're not going to be canceled in 20 years.
He just wants to
This
see-
scene is going to be a little ironic in the show after axing his wife in season 1.
He's gonna be like, not again. Maybe
Yeah.
that's why they did it. It's gonna really go towards his psychosis.
It's gonna really hammer that home.
Maybe it's like I used.
With his,
he started
with his
reading
blacksmith
book 4.
hammer, funnily enough.
That scene is
I like-
not happening.
He started reading in book 4 and then found out I was way off. And then started at book 1, but already had that in his mind. Well, that's a good idea to start this book this way. And so it's just kind of really conflated a few ideas.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. I think that's 2 for 2. You guys have to agree. I heard it with no enthusiasm. It's like my wife saying
I was
yes.
thinking
For coitus.
he would need to have ideas to conflate them.
Hey, you know what? That technically totally redeems my own shitty joke by you making fun of him further.
Hey, come on.
Thanks, Tom. What would I do without you?
I don't know.
Matt, gambling,
Yeah.
drinking, having
Playing
a good
Chop.
time. Yeah, he's playing Chop.
He's
Everything
leaning all
about
the
the
way
map.
into it.
I think everyone, what I love about this is every one of these characters is well written for the character. That's not a dig at anyone else except for other people. Everything about Perrin, this is what he does. He's got some issues with Fael. It's kind of a waffling back and forth on what he wants to do. Matt is gambling, drinking, wanting to leave but can't leave.
Trying to run away, can't. Yeah.
Yeah, that is 100% Matt Cawthon's fucking character. As we'll get to Rand in
This
a
is
little
also
bit.
a really great revival, I guess, of how he was in book 3 when he becomes cool Matt.
Yeah,
so you're
good
just right off the
introduction to
bat
the
in this book, you're like, yay, fun Matt.
Good intro to
Yeah.
the main characters in the second chapter.
Yeah, I agree.
100%. It's fucking incredible.
The Matt fight is
Again-
fucking awesome. I love this Bubble of Evil. It might be silly, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. The
Fuck
fucking
that.
cards
It's-
come to life, but
I love I keep coming back to when we were talking about like, and I think we were drinking for it, tier listing the books as a quasi joke, as an idea, but at the same time, like, holy shit, when he fucking hit his stride through these books. Of like book 4, every character is written exactly like that character should be, and like
I
obviously,
agree. Yeah,
you would think that's what the author does, but there are many times when authors miss the mark with their characters. Right here, fuck no, all on point.
Yeah, nails them.
Yeah,
all the way.
love it. I also, by the way, really want to pull out, just in general.
That's what I've said.
That's too bad. This will shock you, but I love getting drunk and playing poker. And that's really what he's doing. But the level of banter here is awful. It is just incredibly, unless there is, in fact, like a little bit deeper joke than I'm used to.
Yeah.
There's some just terrible, terrible humor. Like, it's supposed to be guys drinking, throwing money around for no fucking reason, just hanging out. Did you read their jokes?
I mean, I read it, but I don't remember anything standing out in particular. But that's not a good thing.
There's a Sean or a fucking whimmering this right now. There's a, what the fuck are they called? The Athens Sea Folk. There's a Sea Folk ship in the harbor.
Yeah.
I want to go check out their girls.
Like fishermen's wives or something like that. Is that what you're talking about?
Nope, that happens not ironically at all.
Oh yeah,
It's just a joke. Yeah, there's just a joke about the fact that the sea folk are out in the harbor. I want to go flirt with them. That's it. That's it.
I mean, in terms of humor, though, like I feel like he's capturing the god awful dry bullshit that these asshole lords must.
I guess
this is how removed they are from society. They're like, "What about that? That'd be crazy." And the other one's like, "Yeah, good joke." And Matt's like, "What the fuck?" Anyway, let's gamble. I mean, that's the impression I got.
Like, the closest I could get is if you really, really, you've got the red line version of Harriet's, like the thing that she received, because the closest you'll get to smelling her perfume, like, versus. Oh, no, nothing.
Smelling.
Nothing. Literally
where's
nothing.
The punchline? Oh, it's been edited out.
Yeah, and then Astian comes back with this joke of like, what about these women that have completely occupied our nation?
Liquor in front, poker in the rear. It's a good one.
Also, you got that backwards.
Anyway,
You're supposed to can't have two guys playing the silent game here.
No, I mean, I just rolled with it.
No, you can't do that.
There's a little bit of insight of where the High Lord's loyalties lie towards Rand and what's going on.
It is, in fact, to nothing. As long as Rand is there, though, they'll be loyal.
Yeah, basically.
Huh.
Well, there's also someone's left already and started a rebellion.
Oh yeah, which will in no way be important in book 7 and beyond.
Been admonished. Nonsense.
I love the idea of anyone being admonished by this podcast.
Oh, here's a woman's voice off with his head, and several cars start marching towards Matt. I actually like it. It's so silly in the sense that like one of the Maryland seat card, the ruler of the flames, the flame turns into a dagger, and it just starts coming out of the card and stabs Matt in the hand. And it's so little that it's like a little.
Yeah, it's like a mosquito dick.
Yeah. But just
why am I laughing at that so much?
For some reason, I just love the fact that he like kicks the table over and everything's like flying in the air and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" And then like in midair, like while everything's falling in slow motion, he's somehow still throwing knives.
Multiple.
It's even like inexplicable because like he's describing how he's still yelling his first yell because he wants to yell a second time when they all start, like when two more of them start growing out of the cards, and he's like freaking out. And he's like, I try to yell basically, but like but my throat's still yelling the first yell, and I can't, which is so weird. So it's like, I don't know. It's very, I don't know how that would look. Is he like matrixing it up and like his arms are going to?
I think this
like,
is one of
while
those
it's like
scenes
slow falling.
this feels like one of the first times where like Robert Jordan's like unintentionally, because this is well before the Matrix, but like has written something that like translates to screen perfectly with like shit like that, like the Matrix. It feels like half the time I read Brandon Sanderson stuff, like I'm like, well, this would go really well on a screen. Like anything Mistborn sounds like it was meant for.
This does feel very cinematic the way like this way played out.
But like like the yell, like you said, like whatever the fuck's going on in your mind,
like a Guy Ritchie slow motion.
Exactly what I was gonna say.
John Woo.
Yeah.
Yeah, like two doves fly through the room.
Yeah. It's fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's awesome. I like that it ends when he stabs the Maryland seat card, and everything, and like time picks speed back up, and everyone falls to the ground. Like it's just the cards pinned to the wall, and I like that too is just like because then he's like, "Am I fucking losing it right now?" Like it's like everyone else saw that. Yes, everyone had to have seen that, but they're all pretending they didn't see it, and he's like, "Fuck, am I insane? What's happening?"
I would assume I was drunk.
Yeah. Also, I would assume my fucking reflexes are on goddamn point, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's like
which, by the way, not a side effect of my usual drinking. My reflexes being like, in reality, it looks back and there's just like one knife nowhere relevant, and there's like three just hanging from his arms. Like, huh? Oh.
It's like that. It's like that episode of Sunny where they think they did that incredible dance at their high school reunion.
That's exactly
really. Matt just like got really drunk and fell backwards in his chair, and then like freaked out and threw a knife through a card, and everyone's like, "Holy fuck!"
And happy high school reunion, Matt Collison.
You saw those cards come to life too, right, guys? And they're like, "No," and he's like, "Why are they pretending they didn't? Like they did."
When you jerk off so much, your hands act on their own.
Speaking of
that muscle memory,
I want to go back before the cock crows.
Okay.
One of my favorite things that Eastian says here is talking about, will you help intervene on these new rules that the Dragon Reborn's passing? And the fact is, Rand, for all of his bizarre shit going on, is trying to put a real government in place wherein people are actually being held accountable.
Like no raid.
Exactly. And Matt goes like, well, we wouldn't want you to just be able to tumble like a fisherwoman or like whatever the fuck. And Easton just goes like, well, I wouldn't fuck a fisherwoman's like wife or a fisherman's wife. Like she would smell like fish.
Yeah, they all smell like fish, no matter how much they shower.
But a plump farmer's wife.
Yeah. And that farmer's that man's or that person's husband shouldn't be able to call me in front of a judge.
Is this why the Dark One and Rand are enemies?
Yeah.
No rape policies.
They used to have ditty parties before Rand. For sure.
They did used to have ditty parties.
For sure.
It's like, what the fuck, by the way, things we wouldn't have guessed.
Just Costco-sized amounts of lube.
I don't know. Is it really that surprising? Is it surprising?
It's not. But calling something a ditty party, it sounds like diddly party anyway, so I guess it works.
I mean, it is.
It's kind of ruined some of the songs for me. I had one come on the shuffle the other day, and I was like, I don't want to listen to this. It made me sad.
How do you think they feel?
Who?
What about Chris Brown?
Yeah.
What about Chris Brown? How is he not in jail?
I'm joking.
I don't even understand that at all.
That's why they want the Mayane oil.
I love
it's also why Marilyn in particular has been trapped at the stone indefinitely.
I know. The Stone of Tear for ditty parties. Nobody can get in, but also no one can get out.
Yep. It's like a maze, and they just like there's a guy behind a fake wall, and he just moves it, so like everyone gets lost all the time. Like, just never get out.
Can't turn right every time.
It's a real labyrinth.
By the way, on that note, I watched.
That's how you trap people with just one guy with a fake wall.
Just not one guy. You have multiple. Come on, Tom.
You have like 20.
4 or 5. Have you thought about that, Tom?
At least, it's like the non-one power way of Harry Potter staircases.
Just I see what with Harry Potter staircases.
Harry Potter.
Are
Everyone-
Harry
the
Potter
fucking,
staircases orgy rape parties? I'm confused.
Yeah.
Have you not
Go,
listened
yeah,
to the?
you go upstairs to Diddy's room, stairs disappear. I
Yeah.
gotta get down.
Oh no!
To get into the party, you have to make the fat lady sing, and it's not by telling a joke.
You know what it's by?
Wait, what is it? Bye.
Analingus.
Liquor in the front, poker in the back. Everyone knows that.
Look in the back, poker in the front.
Oh, sorry. Are
I
we
had
done
a
with
joke,
Matt?
but
Do we have
doesn't
more with
matter.
Matt?
I don't know. So I'm gonna talk about Diddy parties for an hour, and then well, let's go to Rand's Diddy parties. He's having his
Poor
own Diddy
Holfer
party.
Beaver. Jesus.
oh, yeah.
Wait, is
That's all
that why?
Matt's-
Is that why
Matt's
Beaver
grooming him.
found Christ? Is that what happened?
God damn.
There's a lot going on this show tonight.
Matt really wants to leave, but he's also, as the conversation with Tom happens later, inexplicably very easily tied to Rand and can't leave, kind of thing. But I do like what Jono was trying to say. Like, I do like that moment of like him going like, yeah, that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know, kind of thing. It's like he's at the table with a bunch of like political.
Wait, what's not the bad thing? Diddy parties.
Yeah, yeah.
I-
No, the
That's all,
bad
that's all
thing
I'm
is
gonna be
them,
able to think about.
is them raping peasants and then them going like, that peasant
Jesus
would bring me to the law? And he's like, yeah,
Like that's
because they should be able to.
Well, on that note, before we get further on,
somebody
let's
write a
talk about
fanfic of the
Maiden's
FBI
Kiss.
raid on the Stona tier.
let's
Just
stick on the topic of
Some of the High
potential-
Lords just have videotapes of all kinds of recordings.
Actually, technically, Tom Maryland is the one recording it. But anyway, I want to
Yeah,
discuss.
No, I want to see him
Wait, where are you
doing
going
it, doing a bardic chant with this harp.
with that? Is that what you're talking
At
about?
a party
He
somewhere,
witnesses every instance.
describing
and
a
then he
Diddy
writes it down.
party.
I mean, he's writing notes about fake Diddy parties.
I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah, but
He's
before we
flexible.
get there, I realized
Yeah.
that like I had another note and I was half drunk and couldn't read it. half. Matt does a wonderful thing of trying to like revive the dying vibe after Eastian's shitty jokes, and he
Yeah.
brings up Maiden's Kiss. What do you guys think Maiden's Kiss is? Obviously, there's a couple hints, but I feel like this
I
is
feel like
how.
it's described pretty clearly.
Okay, describe it for me.
They
Clearly.
put the spears around your neck, and then they kiss you. And if they don't like the way that you kiss them, they put the spears closer to your neck.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
you get your head cut
Okay.
off if you don't do a good job making out with everybody.
Anything else? Like, is it just like the?
No, I think once
Three.
you've gotten them to back away enough times, you can be like, "Oh, thank God, I'm out of here," and then you can, walk away.
Yeah, that's it.
And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I am saying that it literally takes a comment from Matt Cawthon where he says it took him until the wee hours of the morning, not direct quote, to get to his own bed, and his own bed is the
Implied that he
actual
was in someone else's
terminology.
bed.
Well, there is a small chance.
I mean, again, he says himself he's only been doing some kissing and tickling. So like, I'm not saying it doesn't go beyond just kissing and making out with somebody, but like, and maybe you're horizontal at some point.
Jordan likes to put a lot of things in.
Yeah.
It's like a wink
But I think you're right back in the game, right?
to your dirty mind. That's not necessarily what he's intending, I think, from what he's writing.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
I think Maiden's Kiss is a stabby, sexy reality show that isn't broadcast, unfortunately. Thank you, Lifeline.
I mean, that would be a
It
wonderful
would be a
show.
gleam.
Diddy would not be like that. That casts aspersion. Diddy would be one of the people that Tom Maryland was looking down on outside the foregate that like just ruined what Gleeman were trying to do.
But High Chant was really just rapping.
They tell us in the book clearly, Glenn, but we're trying to read between the lines.
Yeah, there's
There's
no reason why you
no-
read between the lines. You make up shit. All right.
I know the between the lines stuff drives me insane sometimes. There is no between. It's literally you wrote it right there in black and white.
But he does say,
What?
I was
Yeah,
gone
but in
for a
black
while.
and white, to Jono's point.
I do think that like, there's a reason why it's not just like it's like
There's a reason why he
love it.
doesn't recount the actual event word for word of what happened.
Yeah.
As Jono's pointed.
Ruark sends him, and by the way, fucking amazing move from Ruark. Just like, oh, go ask these chicks
I
for Maiden's
know,
kiss.
when you find out it was Rourke, and you're just like, bravo, you fucking.
Like,
Just
regardless,
fucking with that.
it could
So
just
all
be
the
kisses.
so the Isle Chief and all the Isle men think it's funny to go send guys to get reverse gangbanged by the maidens.
Yeah.
In fairness, is he wrong? Like, they do say like very few men ask, like men don't ask to join. Like, I'll tell you what.
Yeah. What's the deal
There's
with that,
gotta
by
be-
the way?
Yeah, there's got to be a
The
reason.
deal with
There
that
has
is
to
that
be.
because it's not a reverse gangbang.
Yeah.
What?
You know what? The
Otherwise-
Spaniards are not. the
otherwise
Spaniards
there's-
are
Let me
not-
ask this question: how many people have lost Maiden's Kiss? Do you think there's a decent amount of dudes that have just gotten their heads or their necks stabbed with fucking spears?
That's why you
They're
don't
just
ask.
dead.
Or is it like it starts to cut you and you're like, oh fuck, okay, you know, and then you're like, you lost, you know,
I think
kind
when
of
it
thing.
starts, you don't get to quit.
Yeah, that's the
Uh,
point.
There's
It's
also
not-
so many. There's a like Doyle and Millar would every 2 hours be like, let's play Maiden's Kiss again. I guess. Let's
he's
go
a
one more
kisser?
time. No,
Like,
I think
he can't be a
I
good
think he's
kisser.
asking for a reverse gangbang 3 times a day.
I'll be honest. What about the idea that it's not the head, it's the head where they put like the neck, like, you know, like the neck. So like, I guess right
That's possible.
below. Yeah.
That's more
Fish.
likely to me than whatever the fuck we're trying to get.
It's
They
just
put all the spears around your
6
dick.
spearheads around your fucking dickhead.
Glinton, I'm sure
Jesus
there are plenty of
Christ.
scarred necks in the waist. I agree.
That's
That's
You know the clan
circumcised
chief's fed on
waist.
that survival. Yeah, sure. I mean, I'm assuming, you know,
Wait, what if that is how they circumcise you?
the maidens are moils.
Man, Moyle's kiss.
I thought you said maidens or moils.
I would play this. What a great
That's
game.
like a weird reality show. Maidens or moils?
You might become the next maiden. He used to be one of us. Now he's he's a maiden in the spirit.
Now he's one of them.
Or she.
We go from nuts to nothing.
Rand has a scary dream.
Scary dream. Oh, god damn it.
Yes.
I was watching the Atlanta United score.
Oh, what is it?
It's crazy to me how much I
It's 2-2.
don't mind the dreams. Like, I guess they get a little tired here at some point in this.
There's
but like,
less of them.
it's
later.
I guess once I get deep into the world of dreams and everybody knows about it, like they lose that tool of using dreams and stuff. Because like,
And
in a
eventually you're
TV
just
show or
like,
a
hurry up
movie,
and figure it out like a queen did or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
I hate a dream sequence in TV or movies. I'm just like, let's stop.
Did you watch The Sopranos? I forget. Like, and I don't like
Nah.
The Sopranos had a lot of weird dream movie sequences that are just kind
I
of
don't
like
it.
the fuck. Like they seem, some of them seem gratuitous, not in a sexual way, just like way too fucking many.
Anyone who dies in Maiden's Kiss earns Tom's description under his name.
Tom, show us your name.
He
He
died like a
died like a pussy.
Well, I guess I should write he died.
Brenda's
with
is the best. Hey, Ryan.
Yeah, I fucking love The Sopranos. I'm right there with you, Ryan.
Anyway, why'd
But
you bring it up? A lot of dream sequences. They are good
Yeah,
or
that's
not
what
bad?
it was. Actually, topically relevant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's it. I bring up topically relevant things while stone cold sober.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Isn't topically relevant. You don't only need to say one of those, right?
Yeah, it's redundant.
It's topical or relevant.
It could be relevant to other things.
I guess it could be topical and irrelevant. Let's
Thank
talk about
you.
Britney Spears' Instagram account.
That's topically irrelevant.
That's topically irrelevant.
Solid. But
So we're
now
going
that
on
you
to
bring it
rant?
up, I kind of want to talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about Rand.
Oh, all right.
Do you guys want to talk about his dream? Because I don't.
I do.
Okay, let's do it.
You know why?
Why? I
Well, it's
I
gotta have
hazard to
some
hazard
couple
to ask.
naked chicks.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Although also it starts off really shitty. He's being carried by a fucking collar by Moraine and whatever the fuck to wherever the fuck. But anyway, Men in lane, they take off their shirts, their shifts, their dress.
He's very, very taken aback by that.
I love the fact that this man is in his own dream. Like, if you're in your own dream, look and do whatever the fuck you want. And he is a giant goddamn prude. So, to my mind, virgin. Talking about the overarching question, I think, for the entire show right now, this episode, I mean.
Very clearly.
Yeah.
And the way he handles Barreline in like 5 seconds, very clearly.
He does not handle her at all.
Listen, Sex Igloo is the first time he loses his virginity with Avienda.
Yeah.
Everyone knows this.
And he paints that inside white. Like
No,
that
what goes on here in the Stone of Tear with the
That's
lanes,
why I was
like,
laughing, because like
making
after
out,
this dream of like naked women and they're asking him to skinny dip with him,
Yeah.
he wakes up and he's all sweat. He's drenched in sweat and he's like, even my small clothes are wet. And I'm like, not just with sweat. And then, and then Barreline
But
comes
it's
in,
all
and he's
but
just
it's
standing
all
there. And I'm like, does he have
salty.
like a full on hard on when Barreline, like he like, because Barreline comes in, it's in the dark. He had just woken up from a sex dream. He's soaking wet, not just with sweat, I guarantee it. And then like, I mean, we're talking about an 18-year-old virgin right now. Like
a fucking 19-year-old.
his small clothes are not just drenched.
I don't even know if he's 18 or 19 yet.
I mean, he might be 19. I don't know.
You can, if you look inside him, you can find.
What is he wakes up thinking it's assassin, so he lights all the lights up at the same time with the power, and then she's
still
like,
hard on.
Yeah. I'm just like,
Maybe
how erect is he still? That's my question.
maybe that's why Jordan had to do all the subtext, because none of them are 18 yet, and it's child pornography otherwise.
Oh yeah. Oh man, he mentions Barreline kind of like says something about. He says he's betrothed to Egwene later, and she's like Egwene. She's like a child. And he mentions like Barreline's only like a year older than him or something like that, and then he's only 2 years older than Egwene, and I'm like, Egwene is a child then. So,
Yeah.
No, not
right.
then. Yes, she's 16. He's 18. Barreline's 19.
So Rand's against rape, but not statutory rape.
I think Barreline's like 20 or 21, and he's like 19.
That's probably more likely.
Which
But
means
that
Egwene
being
is
said-
17, which means she's a kid.
No, not then.
How old was she here?
Not then. What do you mean?
I'm talking about the fact that, in fairness, and I certainly don't support this in today's society. If you go
Glenn
back,
said they're almost
500
20, so maybe
you
Rand's
mean-
20.
You mean in the
Yeah, if you go back 500 or 1,000 years, a fucking
You
16-year-old
go
Yeah, I
girl.
guess
to sleep. Sorry. Go ahead.
I don't disagree with that as a name, by the way. And also, it's generally around dawn that you have to put in your pants to clean
Yeah,
out the cum
yeah.
stain. Dawn.
Okay.
Good plug for the things.
He's
I
been
use
away
in
from
the
his
sheet.
sex sheet for too long.
You guys discussed-
Rand messed up a wet dream. I agree. He totally did.
I don't know. Like, I do love the idea of him jumping out of bed with like a fake fucking sword and just like small clothes just jutting out like 7 inches.
I
he's a
just
tall
love
man.
the idea of him grabbing the one power and just being like, "Who's there? An assassin?" And it's just a hot lady, and he's like,
Uh-oh.
"I'm pretty ready.
Uh-oh.
I'm just having a really good dream."
And his dick's got a fucking heron marked penis.
Anyway, it's Barreline, not an assassin.
Oh. Well, that's too bad.
I feel like, I mean, like, what do you guys think about Barreline's move here?
I don't know. I mean, it seems like great timing, because if you want to have sex with Rand, waking up from nearly coming in your pants from having a dream about having a foursome seems like he would just be ready to go.
Yeah.
Technically, it was a
He'd wake up and be
threesome.
like, man,
His
I wish
resistance is
I wish that was real. And then
Top
he was
tier.
just like, oh shit.
1-on-1. Not bad.
I don't know, if you wake up from a sex dream and then Barreline's just in the room ready to have sex with you, you got to be like, this is great.
Also, if you
It's
wake up
really
from any
worth it.
dream,
This really worked out.
yeah,
that Two Rivers prudishness really helped him reject Barreline.
I hope they do this better in the show.
They go
No,
into
they won't do
multiple
this in the show.
descriptions about her slowly getting less clothed too. By the way,
I like, yeah, she's wearing a robe over her gown, and
She's
then
like
the robe
yeah,
comes
she's wearing like
over.
a flimsy nightgown that he goes, I guess you could call it a nightgown. That was like almost his exact words. Like, but she's first wearing a flimsy robe, and then she drops that to the ground, and then he's like, I don't even know how it's staying up because it's not like there's strings. I'm just like, Jesus Christ. And then every time she like bows or like freaks out, and like he's like, God damn. I'm like, how is he resisting this?
This is almost dark. This is almost dark in hindsight because you find out later that she's like, I guess I got to fuck the Dragon Reborn to keep my country safe. Instead of her, and like, you know, it's presented kind of as she's like, oh, I like to fuck.
Yeah, and I think
to not be the
it
case.
can be
at all.
both.
I'd like to imagine that Rand somehow knows that. And he's like, you don't actually want to do this.
Fuck
But
you.
you don't.
But
It
that's
can
not
be
the
both.
reasoning he gives to her as to why he's not.
That's not picked up here at all. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder if that is that a. Why can't I think of the word? But you know, you're changing the history of the book. Like, is she supposed to be like pretty slutty, and then they're just like, let's just
Retcon?
her a little bit.
Oh yeah, I don't think so. I think it's pretty
Oh.
clear what she's like because of the interaction she has with that High Lord in the hallway with Perrin after this. Like, I feel like it's pretty clear what she was doing
Eating his ass.
after the fact. In the moment, it seems like she's like, no, I just want to have sex with you. But like, you know, because I guess she's good at hiding her true intentions.
It also seems to me that she didn't try just like normal politics first. She's like, I guess I'm fucking this guy.
I think it was more like there's an opportunity here to very quickly get the fuck away
But
from
she
this, but
does-
also tie myself to a very powerful individual that will.
Is
help
this
my
an escape?
later on.
Is it an escape plan too?
In
like,
part.
It's
How
100%.
prisoner is she here?
I think
She's pretty prisoner.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, political prisoner for sure, but like,
She's a political. Yeah, no, that's correct. Like, Joe's correct. That she's a political prisoner. She's been stuck there for months, despite her best efforts. It's a sovereign nation that's like the size of like a fucking
A city,
island,
basically.
right? Really. Because like, even though it's on land,
What's a modern day
attached-
equivalent, or even a historical equivalent? Like,
it's
where did he draw this from?
I
oh,
don't.
fuck.
I don't.
Well,
how do
we
you
should
fucking-
text Alan about that.
I don't know. I'm also drunk. Or I'm drinking. But the idea is that like, even where it attaches on land, that is a tenuous grip at best because it's like shitty area that it like there's like the drowning sands, I think is what it's called. Like you can't go.
It's a shithole country.
Yeah.
It's a small country attached to shithole.
Wait.
That's 8 years out of date, and that's awful.
Yeah, are you saying what's the area from the Princess Bride where they go through? There's the giant rats in the quicksand. Like that's where mine. The rats of unusual size.
Rodents of unusual size.
Rodents
God,
of
I'll get it right.
size. I haven't seen that movie in a while. I'm gonna watch it.
The Fire
Read the
Swamp.
book. Fire Swamp.
Anyway, the point is, yeah,
That's also
Once
unleashing.
Maine is like Singapore and island city state. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
see
basically.
that helped. I could like I wasn't sure what the fuck to say about that.
Apparently, Lanfear should have at least pretended to drown herself in icy waters if she was really committed to Rand. Yeah, I guess so.
Hard tits, like like nipples.
What do you
kinda
mean
poking out.
pretended? Are you saying Abigail pretended to drown?
Yeah,
She did. She
it was all a
faked it.
show. She knew he'd rescue her.
Her hair was cracking.
After the next morning, she was like, "I know how to make gateways all the time." I did that on purpose.
You know what was crackling in her hair? Cum.
Well,
You
yeah,
think
everyone
so?
knows that.
What's that?
Anyway,
I always
pushes-
wondered.
He pushes the Barrelane back in a wall of air, which is kind of hilarious.
Yeah,
And then the mirror
and he
rat.
ties it off. Like this is a wonderful like Rand learning chapter.
Yeah, I really like how he takes a moment to like
makes-
he takes a beat to like analyze what he did. So he'd be like, you gotta catalog that away
Did
for
you
later.
make
so I
a
remember
wall
how-
or put her in a cylinder?
He makes like a wall of some sort. Maybe it's curved, but it pushes her towards the
Cylindrical wall.
Yeah.
He-
So it's
he
like
pushes-
she's kind
he
of like
pushes her
wrapped in
titties
it.
on the glass.
Yeah. No, because she has room in there to like kneel down later, and she's still behind it.
Yeah, he's
Whoa,
got a
whoa,
glory
Joe,
hole.
what?
Holy
He actually
shit!
does
It's an invisible glory hole.
It
I
says
guess
something
it's
about
visible.
Jono, what's the point of an invisible glory hole?
Oh no!
That's just regular. And when you thought of it, it looked like you had an epiphany. Just like, oh my god, an invisible glory hole.
My epiphany though was like the dawning of how stupid it was. I was like, but wait,
God. Thank God we didn't say that 13 years ago.
knew it.
Man.
I knew it.
That's good.
Fuck.
Anyway, it's a curved wall because there's like a footstool, and a boot.
Oh, hold on. He can make his own milking table out of it. He can lie on top.
Well, we can find uses all night long, John.
Oh,
I gotta tell you, I
night.
don't think I know what a milking table is, and I don't want.
Oh, it's exactly what you think it is.
Yeah, I guess I've actually figured it out while I was saying it.
And now you know my work password.
Oh, it's exactly what you think it is.
If anybody thinks John's work password is milking table, you're wrong. It's milking
Oh,
table
God.
69.
With an exclamation mark.
Because they make you do it.
One
Mine's milking
symbol.
table 69 with an ampersand.
Looks like two.
Oh, goddamn. Okay.
All right, go on, Joe. Jesus, man. I'm trying
I
to
don't
fucking
even know
read
where
this book.
I guess we're at mirror rants, I guess, but Jesus Christ.
Are the next two
Fucking
chapters
carry
short?
forward.
Because I don't know this.
So they're
much
short as fuck.
A glory
they're
gateway?
Like penis.
I don't. Let's check out what chat. I've been laughing too hard.
See, a glory gateway.
If it was
works.
Fael, she would have got wet after that week.
Which we
That's true. I
I've
agree
lost
with
my
that.
mind.
Well, I mean, she's into getting tied up and
oh,
tossed to market.
I do.
You know,
We
apparently,
probably
so.
should have mentioned that. Like that, there was some very
I mentioned it
interesting.
briefly.
Like, her
A
entire
glory gateway is a glory hole
characters-
literally anywhere you're at.
Yeah, I guess that's the point.
Fael's
You
entire
can't get
character is actually
Get close to the edge. My problem with that is always going to be the same problem. You can't get that close to the edges. You're just going to fucking cut something.
We
It's gonna
don't
be
know
either
that
you
for
or her.
sure.
yeah.
We don't know
You
that for
have to
sure.
work on your weaves, Joe.
I disagree. If they threw a pen at the side of a gateway, it would just slice in half.
Yes.
It happens with Rand's boot heel in the end of this book.
Yeah, we know that. We know
Well,
that.
that's why you got to
But
be careful.
You've got work
You're
to
acting-
do.
you're
You can't be
like a-
careful. How?
You're acting like a girl sucking a dick through a glory hole, just banging her head against the wall the whole time.
She
I'm
is, if she's doing it right. Or he.
Or
Yeah,
I don't know who's on the other side of that glory hole wall, unless
Also,
it's invisible.
It's Halloween. Voorhees.
I mean, what do you think they're doing
Uh,
with the glory holes? Do you think they're carefully sanding them down and making sure, like, you're not banging your dick against the sides either? You get splinters.
Yeah, you gotta be careful, man.
They're
Glenn
in the.
said-
Anyway,
Glenn said, what if it closes suddenly? That's exactly what I'm talking about.
why would it do that?
It's a risk we all take.
Do you think you
Wait,
accident? You think you channel a glory hole gateway and accidentally you come and like when you do, you just lose the source? It's gone.
That's
Yeah.
a one-off, literally.
That's a good question. Do you lose the source when you come?
My password is Gong Farmer.
I want
Oh
that.
man.
So I was going to say, by the way, like going back earlier into this own chapter or this same chapter, how interesting it is that we actually see everything that Perrin really could have used to deal with Fael. Is that like all you have to do is be a certain amount, not too crazy, of like aggressive because she
Yeah.
wants passion. And he
Yeah.
does it on accident in this part and later on in like, this entire section. And then fucking forgets it.
Am I the only one?
Yeah,
that saw
he
the
like
Wild
inadvertently
Man-
solved all of his problems in this one chapter.
Yeah.
He
saw
just-
Wild Man Wyatt's
he just like
comment.
remembered that. Sorry,
But,
Else Grimwell's is Dong Farmer. That's
And
her
I just
password.
pictured her like on the porch of a farm looking over a field of wheat, except the wheat was dicks.
just cattails waving in the wind.
So I
drumming
watched,
on logs. Ichabod.
I watched Hubie Halloween yesterday, which by the way
Oh, I
is
haven't-
a
I forgot about that.
Why?
What?
I've never seen more than 5 minutes of it. I tried to watch it like 3 times. Like, this is awful.
It's
I watched
fucking
it the year it
amazing.
came out, and then that was the end of it, and I forgot all
How
about it.
fucking dare you? Tim Meadows has these little like fingers on his fake costume, and he's just sucking them, and
Oh,
like
I
trying to like
barely
a
remember
joke with
that.
Maya Rudolph.
I do remember
Maya
Tim
Rudolph.
Meadows being in it, and me going like Tim Meadows, and like laughing at everything that he said, but I don't. That's the beginning and end of my recollection of that movie.
Maya Rudolph's like, is that supposed to turn me on? Like, there's small penises, and it's just like, that's it. That's the whole scene. I could watch Tim Meadows suck fake dicks at Maya Rudolph all day.
Okay, so here's a thing I want to talk about:
Okay.
Rand and the fire sword and the wrestling his naked selves to the ground. And we talked about all the mirror Rands and absorbing mirror Rand. Weirdly enough, you know what didn't come up as a tiny Rand surviving and running around. Maybe we talk about that later in the episode, or maybe, or maybe it's like the next book or something. I wonder when we bring that up because it did not happen in this chapter. Now that I'm thinking about it, that's one of our favorite dumb memories. But basically, the idea that it may or may not be him when he reabsorbs himself, like, and Berlin even goes like, "Hey, which one are you?" Like kind of questioning sort of like which Rand is there. And he's like, "I am who I need to be," or he says some like cryptic answer kind of thing. And basically we made a joke about like, that's how you survive the last battle is you just like, it's a clone of him from this point forward. And at the very end of the last book, Rail Rand just comes out of a mirror and just goes like, "We did it." Like that's how he survives, which that was just like, that was hilarious. And I was like, my God, we had some good ideas back then.
And you know what our best ideas are now?
It's my favorite thing. Yeah.
Same ideas from 10 years ago because we've gotten
now
dumber.
We know how he survives the last battle. He doesn't.
That's the reason.
He doesn't. You know what I do love about this chapter, or maybe I guess it's the next one when he's talking to Moraine, but he goes, "This is the one that gets me in the end, like, isn't it? Like talking about his wounds when she heals him and stuff, like fucking good." So
I'll be honest. The beginning of this whole fucking book is incredible, right? Like the men shit sets up like a massive amount of like drama and suspense. Like the first chapter. This is a weirdly different like Bauble of Evil. That's not really that relevant necessarily, but at the same time, it puts everyone on their own fucking arc, right? For Rand or for Perrin and Fael, it really kind of already shows they want to get the fuck out. For Matt, it shows that despite his best efforts, he's not going to be able to fuck off. And for Rand, like it shows just what all like just insanity is fucking around him. So like it really kind of just puts everyone like in weird different buckets instantly. And like the whole thing is like it's just an incredible start to a book. Yeah, it's again, I just keep coming back
chapter
to like,
2. You mentioned it earlier. It's not only memorable, but it's one of those where you're like, what is it really that good of a chapter? I don't know. The end of this fucking section where he sits down and Berlin, and like he's finally shooing Berlin out of the room. Like after the fight, first of all, he has this amazing realization, like, oh my God, I forgot she was here. I hope she's not dead. Because he hadn't even like scanned the room yet. Which is like horrifying that in the midst of all that, like he lost track that she was there.
Yeah.
Who forgets a big titty? So theoretically, they could kill her. Yeah. But he's like, oh, she's still here. And then he's like, all right, leave. And here's why. And I don't want to do this, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, yeah, okay, not having sex with you anymore, bro. That kind of thing. Yeah. And she like leaves. And then she's like, do you want me to like get someone? And he's like, no, I'll do it in a minute. I'll do what I have to do. But the way he sits down and he's just like, I just want to sit here and remember it. He's like, I'll be the Dragon Reborn in like 5 minutes. But right now I just need to remember a shepherd named Randolph Thor. And it's like, it's a fucking beautiful end to this chapter, that sentence. Like, I love it.
It's so dark. It's and it's increasingly so.
Is it foreshadowing?
No.
Or like way later?
Maybe.
It's actually more 5 shadowing. Like honestly, like it's not even like
10 shadowing.
It's like 5 head shadowing.
Oh, it's Mina Savari?
Yeah, it's Mina Savari.
I mean, I think the answer is very quickly yes. Like it's not even foreshadowing like in other books. It just shows how quickly he's losing himself, and he's trying his best to kind of hold on to it.
Yeah.
It's terribly sad. It's also it's going to lead straight into the next chapter, so I guess we'll go to that. But I just, it's hard to know how to like end this whole thing because there's just so many talking points, right? Like what's your favorite piece of this fight? What's the weirdest part of it? How don't we why don't we see more of this? Did Perrin have sex with her beforehand? All very relevant points.
I just think it's funny that the last time through, we definitely made a lot of jokes about tiny Rand's running around like Smurfs, and this time we went very hardcore in pornography.
No, that's what I was just saying to Jonathan when you walked away. That's what I was just saying to Jonathan. We didn't mention the tiny Rands running away in this chapter. Or in this
It was
point.
apparently later.
Oh, okay.
It was apparently later.
Yeah, so I don't know if we brought it up later in the same episode, because like back then that episode was like multiple chapters, so I've we probably just brought it up later in the episode, but we didn't do it yet, so I was like, I wonder when that happened. Rand said that I am the one you were treating like a betrothed. Oh yeah. Oh, well, I don't know what she's laughing at. What, Aaron? What are you laughing at?
Everything.
Aaron is always like, but I'm pretty. Why don't you want me? She does.
Women are like that.
She does kind of do that. Matt bows to her and she says, "Now give me that wolf." Bearlane has historical parallels, many of them, but one major in particular.
I assume
Cleopatra.
Oh, nailed it right before you said it.
Yeah. Just the most famous, yeah.
You know why that is? Rand's snake is on her head.
Chapter 3. Reflection.
We have to go fast.
On the water. Sorry.
Chapter 2 is the meat of this episode, Tom.
All right, let's make it sure.
Parent point of view.
Yeah, it's Perrin. He's walking towards Rand's rooms to confront him, and then he runs into Bearlane in the hallway. And I love his misinterpretation. So basically, he runs into Bearlane, and then she runs off. And then Fael's misinterpretation of like what happened is my favorite thing ever. Because she's like, "Why don't you just go talk to Rand without me?" And he's like, "I thought you wanted to find out what happened as much as I do." And she's like, "I do, but you're not going to talk about that because you're about to talk about how your friend just banged that hot chick, and I don't want to be around for that." And he's like, "What? What are you talking about?" Like so confused and has no idea what she's saying. And then she like leaves, and he's like, "What the fuck was that about?"
And
it's hilarious.
So, what's weird about that is like,
this kicks off.
Like so, she technically they see Torian, right, the first High Lord who stares Fael up and down. I think that's Isian's dad.
We are back on the book. Stop.
Tom's ponytail is the best. I hope it has nothing what to do with Tom O'Hara, giant squid. But like, so we see this happening.
Should have tried Matt.
No shit.
Well, we see her later.
Tie yourself to one of the three, and it's not Moran.
She passes her later, and she's
really
just
dropped the ball on that
too
one.
Similar.
Yeah, you go for Matt.
She's also not attracted to skinny young gamblers that drink.
But anyway, like the whole point is like they pass Torian. He's just kind of like Perrin doesn't like him, which how dare he? It's weird to me that Fael kind of like looks askance at that. So Perrin, after hearing that, kind of like, wow, I'll show you on the next person he sees, and it's fucking Bearlane. That's the thing that really gets me is how shitty that luck is. And Joe, question for you: do you think that had he not swept off, kind of done that, like that she would have reacted the same way, and then we wouldn't have had this multi-book arc of shit, or is this just preordained?
The way Perrin reacted to Bearlane?
Like 9.5 books this goes on.
I know. It's fucking long.
Is Perrin's flirting game
that's very much set up like the next
Bearlane care.
several books with them like interacting.
What's that? Say it louder. I'm sorry. Some
Well,
fucking asshole.
this one interaction very much does set up like the way they all interact with each other from like here on out, like almost until Fail is saved. You know,
No, it's
Yeah,
from
I'm
here
sorry.
until Berlin meets Gallant, and then she's like, "Oh, he's hot."
yeah, but
I
that's
know.
way later.
Yeah, well,
I
that's
know.
What,
I
that's
know
what
it's
you're
way
saying. That's what you're saying. It's like Joe, like you're saying, like until then, and that's 9 books.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, well, I mean, we were just talking about how that chapter. Well, and this is the third one now, but like how these 2 chapters kind of. They're almost really like setting up the characters for a very long time.
This is the most fateful chapter in the worst way, I think, in the entire
What
series.
if we wrote a book about how to pick up hot women, and it was 200 blank pages, and then just this chapter. whatever Perrin says here really worked.
Well, which one of us is Matt, Perrin, and Rand?
Who cares? It's just Perrin. Whatever Perrin says, barely it landed.
That's true. She's all over him after this.
I can't imagine.
What did he
which one
do?
of us
Just
is-
not like he just like
I think he
in the most
wasn't.
honest and earnest way possible, not acknowledge what the situation she was in, and then like treated her normally. Basically, that's basically what.
Oh yeah, and then he wasn't rude. Actually, that is a really good way.
Yeah, like that's basically all he did. It just in the most honest and earnest way imaginable. He was just like, "Hey, how's it going? What's going
You're
on?"
just
here?
very
All right,
nice
feel
and honest.
better?"
If you're just very nice and honest with a woman and concerned about her and
Yeah.
give a shit, then
That
she's
can't
gonna
work.
Hey, look at
That
that.
can't
Nah,
work.
yeah, you're right. That's not what happened.
Yeah.
You make
Can't be it.
you make an air cylinder glory hole, obviously. That's the way.
Clearly. The only way to do it is an invisible air glory hole. Anyway, Fael leaves because they're going to talk about how Rand just fucked Marilyn. And the fact that he does, again, this is kind of like back to the Bubble of Eel chapter. She finds it endearing because he doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about.
And this is the last time.
Cute.
Like, but why is she reacting this way? Like, oh, it's actually all right. You know, he had nothing to do with her. He didn't understand this. And then what the fuck happens afterwards? Again, there's going to be a couple book reprieve, but she sees Berylane thereafter, and it's like she's got her pussy in her fucking nose, like, and she's just angry the whole fucking
Well, she
time.
knows that Perrin's naive in this situation, but she knows that Berylaine's
It's
not.
so irritating.
I guess. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. No, it
I mean, it's
doesn't.
irritating, but it's so early in the book. It's like it fits with their characters, I think.
Well, that's offensive.
Anyway, Perrin forces his way past Bane and Chayat, and then they mention playing Maiden's Kiss again. Yeah,
I
I
love
love
that he picks her up. Like, just picks up. I think it's Bane he picks up.
It's
And
Chayat.
just like, it doesn't matter because I don't know which one it is.
It does matter.
Let's do 10 on that. Like a tight 10.
Chayat's the one who does the spear initially, and then Bane kind of like seconds it, and I think it's Chayat that he's like, "Get the fuck out of my way."
Oh, hold on. What episode was it where Tom, we were drunk as fuck and you kept trying to make me do Bane voice?
God, that was
so
like,
many.
that was
so
like-
many.
but that was like book 12 or something. Like,
It's really late.
like that was so later.
It's really late. And I was so bad at why did you
So
want me
many
to do it so
episodes.
badly?
Because you were bad at it, and that's what made us laugh, Jono.
You just get a plastic cup up your mouth, or even your hand.
Man, there's a lot of comments in chat about this whole apparently. I can't keep track of it all because I'm drinking. All
Don't
right,
keep track of it.
the Berylane
Go for
Perrin
it.
Matt thing would have worked better if Perrin wasn't married. If RJ wanted to do that, then he should have kept Perrin single.
This is a lot of reading into things too.
Yeah.
I like this idea though.
Gallup does do a lot
Supposed to work.
to turn a crazy cult around to be useful. Berylane takes a horrible skewed political situation and makes it work for her. Yeah, I can see how they find that connection. Okay, yeah. I think.
What a
Do you think they were finding a connection in themselves politically? Because I feel like Gallant and Berylane were just like, "Hey, you're like the hottest guy in this book
I think-
series,
Yeah, I
and
think
I'm the
people,
hottest woman in this
I
book
think
series."
people overread things sometimes. Sometimes it's literally just what's there. They're just like,
They both think their shit don't stink, and then it's quite possible their shit don't stink.
It's like
very possible.
You think so?
they
That
just see
seems
each
very
other and they're like,
unlikely.
we should fuck. We're hot.
It seems pretty likely
Hot
that
people
the shit
fuck.
does stink, but
Glenn
they
says
just
Bane
wash their
voice?
asses.
Glenn, Bane had a voice in a movie called The Dark Knight Rises.
He even spelled it the right way.
And multiple people have
Also,
made
never ever bring up Bane voice when we're an hour and a half into the podcast. It's just gonna get
I was
bad.
born in the dark. Ren sits. Anyway, I love when Perrin opens the door and Ren is just like,
It's a glory
passed
hole
out.
built made of air.
I love how Ren is just passed out against the bed, like the bedpost, just like, and just covered in blood. Just, and
I
Perrin's
think
like,
this is
oh shit, get Moraine. Like kind of thing. Like he's arguing with the maidens for like a good chunk of like 5 minutes maybe, and then he finally is like, get the fuck out of the way. And just like him going in, like the second he walks in the door, he's like, oh fuck, call Moraine.
I think this is one of the most like badass, just like centering pieces on Rand. Like Rand's like Perrin walks in, just kind of like
It is kind of a note of Rand being a badass. Is that what you're saying?
100%. Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
he's just lying there, blood caked everywhere, especially from the old wound, but just in general. Like there's
And his
cuts
small
from
clothes
everything.
are like a Halloween ghost decoration that you've made because the cum is now solidified, and even though he's not hardened anymore, it's just
We talked about this.
It's
Does
just
small clothes make you
white
immediately?
cloth draped in like a ghost formation.
Does
He
small
even
clothes
weirdly
make you-
drew a smiley face in his own blood, which I thought was weird.
I love your points, Joe, and I know how Tom feels because there's so many times I'm like, dick joke, I've got a dick joke, I've got a dick joke, I got a dick joke, and it's just
I
being
don't.
slow.
I just wonder, when you hear small clothes, do you immediately think they're tidy whities?
It's dick
No,
joke.
you know what? Weirdly, I imagine.
Yes,
like,
the answer is
Right.
yes.
No,
Yeah?
not whitey
Yeah,
type.
I think
No.
I do too.
I don't know what I feel like. I imagine like basically like a, I don't know, like a toga
Boxers?
diaper. You know,
A
like
toga.
something that's like wrapped around or something.
That's
you know,
tidy
like, that's the
whities.
way it sounds. to me.
It's tiny whiteys.
It's the same thing. Certainly not have boxer briefs. They didn't have the technology.
Yeah, I don't. They're not fucking breathing.
Yeah, the technology.
Dick technology.
Oh man. One last tiny Rand was rubbing his dick.
That's the one. That's the one that
That's
got
the one
away.
that made it.
And then when
That's
it
the one
gets
that made it.
nice and warm, it gets reabsorbed. And now I have the energy to lift my head up when Perrin's talking to me. Yeah, but Jono, I love what you were talking about Beach said drawstring boxers. That actually makes sense.
I don't know if they had draws.
I don't know why I think it's more like, I don't know, less of an actual article of clothing and more about
What are their
something they,
small
like, wrap
clothes are
around their
like
bodies.
from like old English movies where it's like a full bodysuit practically.
Yeah, but
I
he's
thought of
talking about
that.
small clothes with the dudes often enough where they're not wearing a shirt that clearly that's not the case.
Yeah,
So, like,
it's just
It could be
underwear.
it could still be the pants. It could be like the capri underwear pants.
but it's not whitey tighties.
I think it's whitey tighties, but like yeah,
I think,
like
whitey
but
tighties
but
must
like
I
you
think
said,
it's like
like
when
diaper.
Charlie wears his long underwear in Sunny and the crotch is drooping down. Like that's what I imagine. Like not
I don't
whitey
think I ever-
tighties. You're not seeing the outline of Rand's dick unless he's erect.
I don't think I ever. I never
wearing-
quite got that.
I'm
A romper? Yeah,
I
kind of.
love the romper idea.
Like loose sweatpants, but like in your pants,
Just
I never
loose
quite-
sweatpants.
but thinner,
never-
but thinner.
I never
Mine
quite
looked
got
like
the
I was weirdly
Charlie
trying to
with
show
the
my
pants
dick. and I
drooping
apologize for that.
until we had a baby, and I'm just like, that just means Charlie shit his pants.
That's what small clothes are. It's when you've taken a dump in your underwear and it's hanging out.
Hangs out.
Oh man. Anyway,
I see so many parents pick up babies and smell their butts. And I'm like, I can tell that kid's got a dump down there, like from a mile away.
sometimes it's deceptive time. There are more
Yeah, that's true.
there are
That's
more
true.
liquidy dumps than
No
Anyway.
kids.
I just like to wait until it really fills up.
I like when Moraine comes in to like heal him. Well, first Aurora comes in and it's like, I just ran into Berylane in the hallway and she told me what happened. Why are they best friends? I don't really understand, but I do kind of love it. And then
they get a father-daughter.
They have like a real. Well, he even mentions in this chapter, he's like, I don't even know what the context is, but it's not sexual, but there's like a hint of sexuality in it. And he's like, she's young enough to be my daughter.
There is. I think it's because she took on the role young. She has no one to guide her, and then every man she meets in the world is trying to fuck her, and he's the first one
and take advantage of it.
He can actually have a father figure that's also a leader.
No, I meant somebody else was implying sexuality, and he was like, "Don't be ridiculous. Like she's young enough to be my granddaughter." You know, like he basically like blows it off. Like, are you insane?
Yeah, because someone's like, "Hey, you're talking to Berylane, eh?" And he's like, "Why don't you get the fuck out of here, you creep?"
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking? Yeah, basically, that's what he says. Anyway, I do love. So first he comes in and he's like, "I ran into Berylane. I came up to see if it was true, and clearly it was. You know, like I don't know what the fuck happened still, but like it clearly was true."
And then he just shakes his head.
Yeah. And I love when Moraine comes in and she's like, just take hold of the source, take hold of the source and just hold it. Don't do anything with it. And he's like, just hold it. Like in his brain, he's like, you mean wrestle the giant fire dragon to the ground and then, pin it there while it squirms around and tries to kill me every 5 seconds? You mean that? Like, kind of like the way he responds is as if like, it's just the distinction between side in and side R, like he's just like, are you fucking crazy? And then through Perrin's eyes, he sits there for a beat and then he's like, I can't tell if Perrin or Rand's doing that or not. And then Rand's like, yeah, I can't do that for the life of me. Are you kidding me right now? Kind of thing. And she's like, well, this is going to fucking suck. And then heals him.
I have a bizarre note and I don't understand it because you wrote this.
I love when you read your bizarre notes that you don't understand.
It just says fluffer.
That's it? No context?
Yeah. It's
damn it, John. Do your drunk brain a favor.
Perrin gets to Rand's antechamber. Bane and Chaya block the door, but he moves her. Walks in on Rand covered in blood. Fluffer. Why does that make sense?
It doesn't.
Oh, well.
Who walks in and Rand's covered in blood? Perrin?
Perrin. Yeah, Perrin. Yeah.
Perrin's his fluffer? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. Like, that doesn't make sense.
Anyway,
well, I guess back to the whole point here is because I didn't realize Tom was even going because I was trying to read the fucking book real quickly. Yeah, to your point, this is one of the fucking coolest, coldest things that happens. Mm-hmm. Just Rand covered in blood, Rand covered in glass, this whole fucking room covered in just insanity, and shut the door, Perrin, don't say a word is all he says. I mean, like that's an amazing lyric. I'm so fucking glad he uses it. Like that's just fucking awesome.
It's pretty insane. I mean, it's incredible when chapter 2 ends with him wanting a minute to remember a shepherd named Randolph Thor, but then when you see Perrin's reaction, and not only that, but when he calls for Moraine and the maiden, like Bane and Chaya clearly enter the room, but he doesn't even look over his shoulder, but he just hears one of them gasp, and you're like, and then they're running down the hallway, and you're just like, that in and of itself is amazing. But when he's like, is Rand even alive? And then Rand picks his head up and goes, hey, just close the door. That kind of thing. And you're like, holy fuck, you're such a bad, it's insane.
Yeah. Again, if this is Rand really becoming
Rand was shaving and he doesn't know how. Never shave your own balls. Never shave your own balls. When I was 14, my scrotum was shorn.
Please read this. Please go on.
I don't have the rest of that quote.
That's all right.
This is walking into an Austin Powers quote.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's correct.
So, like you said, the Ruin, Moraine, and Lan kind of like encounter with Rand. Everything about it. Like, these are 4 of the best characters in the entire fucking series. And they actually are conversing together. Because, like, sometimes, like, that's the biggest issue is, like, they're there, but they don't do anything. Every single one of them in this case has something to fucking say.
Yeah, it's
And
pretty
we
crazy
kind
to
of-
think about some of these characters never interacting with each other.
Yeah, it's honestly
Like
looking
Elaine,
back,
Elaine doesn't know Moraine at all, practically.
yeah, it's bizarre, isn't it? Oh, that's an interesting
I mean,
idea. It's
kind
like
of.
draw like a weird spider, kind of like who the fuck knows each other well.
Yeah, because when they interact, it's few and far in between, kind of thing. Like when Moraine comes back in, what is it? Is it 14 when she comes back? Fields of Marilor? Or is it like 12, 13? All right.
Yeah, way off.
I was gonna say it's not like the actual last book, is it?
Well, she comes back around to everybody at the end.
Right, but in the Fields of Marilor, she comes back and it's like it's a big deal to us as like a reader, but like it's not.
But Elaine,
like
yeah, you'd think Elaine would be like, okay, I've heard of you, but like, come
yeah.
on.
Very well. Where do I begin? My father, relentless, self-improving boulangerie owner from Belgium, low-grade narcolepsy penchant for buggery. Mother was a 15-year-old prostitute named Chloe with webbed feet.
My father would drink.
My father would womanize.
He'd make outrageous claims like question mark.
What's happening?
Sort of thing that the genius was and the insane, or the genius idolized and the insane lament.
Sort of
Do you have
general.
an exceptionally good memory, or how many times have you seen Awesome Power?
I love that
think
fucking. Are you kidding?
Honestly,
I mean, I
only
can say it
6 or
word
7
for word,
times.
but
I probably saw it like 5 times in a row in like 97,
Yeah.
98.
I
And then
did
never
hammer
saw it
the
after
fuck out
that
of
for
those
2
movies when they
years.
first came out, and then I haven't seen them in ages.
Just go
But
back.
they're hard to forget.
The details of my life are quite
my childhood was
inconsequential.
typical. Summers in wherever Rangoon.
Rangoon. I was in
Lessons,
Bruges.
luge lessons.
My father would drink.
I don't remember the part. What's the part where he says like the short scrotum part is what made us think of that.
There's nothing quite like a short scrotum, I can assure you.
When I stepped out of line, I was beaten in a burlap sack with reeds. Not unusual or whatever.
What's happening? Who's watching this?
Well, Austin Powers
Pretty
fans,
standard,
obviously.
really. Oh my god.
We're gonna
Anyway.
get shut down for a copyright.
There's a good chance.
We're
That's
quoting.
how close the really shitty versions are. Anyway, yeah, back to the point.
It's a tear.
Shut
Moraine
the
is surprised
fuck
at Bubble Believable. What are you gonna say?
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck
Yeah.
up. Here's the most important part of this chapter. There is a Rand jerked himself erect.
This is after his small clothes are rigid with cum?
I mean, that seems oddly, yes. This is when
Soaked in sweat, his diaper tighties.
Burlap sack with reeds is standard Aes Sedai punishment. Mine is the burlap sack. Moraine coming back was kind of pointless. Oh, she didn't really do anything than
What are we talking about?
other than character could have done. Okay.
And you're about to get a lot of hate directed in your direction.
Well, I mean,
welcome
I
to our
value your
podcast.
opinion.
Yeah.
I think she's
Anyway.
the second most popular character. She might be the most. It's her and Matt.
Do you think that show ever exists without her in the show? Like, could they ever pull that off and like have her leave for like 5 seasons and come back?
Yes. They just need a different actress. It was bad casting. Actually, it was good. It was good casting if you cast
Great
somebody
casting.
famous and you tell them, and then you can fuck off for 5 years and come back.
Yeah,
later.
yeah, and then it's like a
Great.
huge thing, and you come back. Yeah,
Instead of like, oh, we cast.
I mean,
this
we
famous
haven't
actress
gotten
in this
to the
role,
point.
so I
Maybe,
guess we just
maybe
gotta
they
keep
did
her
tell her
around
that. Maybe they
No.
did tell her that, and she's ready to do it.
I hope so. I mean,
Yeah, if the writers were better.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess the thing is, like she, like,
it's
the best actress.
It's Game of Thrones. What's the guy's name?
Imagine Elida giving that speech.
What's the guy's
Oh
name
my
in Game of
god!
Thrones? Ned Stark. They kill him.
Yeah, yeah.
You do that to Moraine, but
That
Moraine
was like
gets to come
season
back.
1, so it was like I don't know. I made anyway.
Yeah, but it's like you don't have to do this much
Well,
work.
I think that's the point,
and you
though,
get
right?
paid. Like, it's wild.
Jono, what are we gonna say? We got to wrap these chapters up.
Yeah, wrap it
Oh,
up.
just I think that's the
We got
point.
10
though,
more
is that,
minutes.
that Game of Thrones went that way. We took a marquee actor and we said, night, night, as they say in Righteous Gemstones. And then, like, Wheel of Time has chosen to kind of intertwine themselves with her more.
See, the problem with the Game of Thrones is that they took a marquee actor, they put him in, and then they did a faithful adaptation of the book, and it was a fucking smash hit. Maybe the last biggest hit in the history of the world now that they're streaming and stuff. And like one of the biggest shows of all time.
No,
and
that can't be right.
I don't understand. That was nonsense. Why would they do a thing like that? Like,
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, what a weird thing to do.
Rewritten.
Anyway, back on the books. Moraine describes a bubble of evil is where we're at. Go.
Ran jerk direct.
What, John? Is that all you have? What's the context?
I've got so many more notes, but I can't remember.
I do like how she says, like, it wasn't a Forsaken, it was Bubble of Evil. And then she describes it, and then she's like, probably attracted to tWoTcast. And they're all like, oh, fuck, Matt. And then Roark's like, oh, yeah, I ran into Matt. He's fine. And I'm just like, how many people is Roark just like, there he is, there he is, there he is, there he is, in the hallways? Like, there's
yeah, Roark has himself a very nice spyland. It's all right. He's well ahead of what
is it a spy network, or is he just like wandering the Stone of Tyr in the middle of the night, just keeping tabs on everybody? I saw her come out of his apartments. I saw him come out of her apartments. No one's in their bunks. And I'm going to tell Tom, and then Tom's going to write letters later.
The same scene.
People are telling him.
Should we just do an episode of Wet Out of
You better get back to your bunks. You're in trouble. That's how he acts, though, because he doesn't stop them. He just notices them and moves on.
Anyway, so things that actually, now that I'm caught back the fuck up, things I really enjoyed, besides everything Joe has said, because Joe has done good work. Good work, Joey. Good work, Joey. Rand, you're suspecting the Forsaken for all this shit. And Moraine, great lexicon, calling it a miasma. Don't hear that word enough. Like, I don't like. Why not call it like interchangeable? Bubble of Evil seems a little kind of like sounds like bad shart.
I mean, she describes it as like something rotting at the bottom of a lake, and like pieces of it pop up in the pattern periodically.
Miasma's a perfect word.
Yeah, I know. I like that more. I want that more.
You want it in the lexicon more.
Also, she calls it bubble of rot. So, like, where do we all get the word evil attached to that?
Maybe it's been too stuck.
Is that a common term? I don't know where that came from.
And
they say bubble evil like constantly.
Moraine killed a fairy man. They're just yelling about Moraine in the comments. Oh, Pike is perfect for the show. As Lanfear, watch Gone Girl.
Oh shit, that's true.
I like that.
God,
they could have a sideshow called Trip to Finland.
Was Rosamund Pike a vampire in Gone Girl?
Oh, a sideshow with her in the alien world. That's interesting.
I would be.
What does Moraine do in book 2? Nothing. She doesn't do anything in book 2.
And that's not true. She goes to see people, and that's it.
She's gone.
She's gone, essentially.
And she's a girl.
Anyway, Lan and Roark have an uneasy respect for each other. I like that. And
I love everything about this.
Roark explains the people of the dragon and he who comes with the dawn to Perrin briefly, which kind of sets up the rest of this book. Basically, like he's like, yeah, we're with him now, but like, you know, he has to pass a test, and until he passes that test, we're just pretty sure he's the right guy, but we're not sure. And then Perrin's like, oh fuck, if they're not around Rand, like I can't imagine how bad that would be for him right now, kind of thing. And that's kind of basically the end of the chapter, because he kind of thinks on that, and then he thinks on Fael and like whether or not, you know, that makes sense.
Roark's last line is, I think Perrin goes, well, what if you guys don't think that he's the one? And he goes, sleep well and wake.
Yeah,
that's the darkest ending. Like, I'm gonna start like just telling that to my wife, like when I go out of town. Sleep well and wake. Like, it's just like, what seems positive, but
bringing it back to the fire swamp. I tell my son every day, like, good night, Grayson.
Good night, Kevin.
I hope you don't die horribly. So, wake in the morning. I'll probably kill you.
Should we move on to chapter 4?
Sure.
Yeah.
So this
My
is,
time is,
it's
short.
called Strings, and Tom sent
Chapter
me a
4 is
text
called
instead.
Strings. Tom writing letters. And he's playing the great game of the houses.
Nope, this is about tampons.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep, Strings.
Fuck, I misread that completely.
I thought it was about
Yeah.
deep fakes and fake news.
Anyway, Matt
Could
comes
be.
in, he interrupts him. He's freaking out, which I kind of find adorable. I think my favorite part of this entire chapter is one that Matt and Tom are still like best buds in a way, even though they're starting to separate already. But also I love that Matt comes to him and goes like, would you want to leave? Yeah, you wouldn't want to leave. Never mind. Anyway, so like this happened. I'm freaking the fuck out. Did anything happen down here? Never mind. You'd know if it had. You know, because Tom's like, hey, he's like, what do you mean? What do you mean did something happen? He's like, if you don't understand what I'm asking, then nothing happened. You know, kind of thing.
Yeah. If I've got to ask, then you don't have to answer.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what it
you
would
don't
be
know.
like if the meth head walked into your room while you're writing letters.
So here's my thought. I hate that
Tom
this
is making
chapter
his own
ends.
soaps. He is.
You hate what?
He had a lot
I
of
hate-
fun in Carrion. Sorry, Jonathan. Go ahead.
I hate that this chapter ends. Like I would love Tom Maryland being the advisor to Rand al'Thor. I know the whole point is like to move Tom away from it because Tom wants Rand to be a king, and Rand has
Yeah.
to be more than that. So therefore, separate them. But at the same time, like I would love there have been a later on, whatever the fuck time, spoilers ahead, for Tom to have been his spy master, for Tom to have been
Yeah,
his,
that would have been cool if he had been like closer to Rand during like certain periods. Yeah.
because like that's what has gotten Tom into this. Like Tom's whole fucking shtick is the fact that Rand is the Dragon Reborn. Tom's fucking nephew was a false dragon. Wasn't even a false dragon, a channeler who's gotten fucking murdered by the goddamn Red Ajah. And like let him fucking like excise that. Let him fucking like obviously he has a very fulfilled life later
Tom
on.
could not be Rand's advisor if Rand knew Tom was his advisor. Do you think so? I feel like he trusts Tom.
That would have been
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I mean, there's a light-minded fool, despite
That's
the
a
name,
good point.
not
but,
very foolish, very smart.
yeah.
Tom might
I
be.
don't know. I
playing-
feel like he might have accepted Tom, whereas he wouldn't have accepted mostly everyone else. Obviously,
I think that like Tom would have actually entered the circle of trust with Min and maybe a few other
yeah,
characters.
kind of like around the Min, like
And
Well, Tom might
holy
be-
shit!
Yeah.
How
Tom
awesome
Allen-
would that been?
He's playing. I
oh,
think he's
Christian
playing a
Rapper literally
small-
said, "What? Rand trusts Tom." Yeah, see, that's yeah. I
just think-
I kind of agree.
I think he's playing a smaller game than Rand is playing. Even if Rand doesn't realize what he's doing right now. Like,
Well, and that's why Moraine sends him away, right? Moraine pretty
Yeah.
much fucks him
Yeah.
off because like he's being set up to do one country at a time.
yeah,
And like to do it like on a one-on-one noble basis, whereas what she wants is like global ambition. So fuck this
Still,
guy.
if Tom had stuck closer to Rand throughout
Yeah,
and not just been like off randomly with the girls at the circus and shit like that, like I think. I mean, granted, he does get like reattached to Matt at some point, and he's kind of with Matt for a while too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just like I agree. Like I think he would have been probably a more interesting character if he was like
I
closer.
would have
to
loved
Rand.
that
it
because
would have been
like,
helpful for him. But Tom's like, "Oh, this lord and lady might be in trouble for you." And Moraine's like, "Here's how we take over the whole world."
Yeah, you're right,
exactly.
Tom. Yeah, you're right.
That's
Tom.
a-
Yeah.
So you're probably not wrong, but fuck you because you're a cunt.
Tom would have let that roll. He gets more information. I mean, yeah, but like he
But he gets small information.
He figured out
To get
what-
the amount of information he needs to help Rand, he'd have to travel the entire world in like a day to bring it back. Like it's
Holy shit!
Rand's
what about the
operating on
idea
a-
of actually
a bigger scale
Um,
than like the court barred spy.
Moraine sent him off because she wanted Rand to only listen to her. I mean, yeah.
Christian Rapper is very true as well here.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
not at that point. She's already been through the doorway, right? Or has she not yet?
Not yet, not
not
just
currently.
Oh, yeah.
yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
being
Dobie's
said,
here. Hey, Dobie.
well, what about the idea of there actually having been a like
think
Yeah,
Tom's
so
just playing
obviously-
small ball, and it's not going to ultimately be.
Yeah, I think Tom, I think you're right. I think that's the perspective we
But
need to
what
see.
about having a Tom Maryland kind of a character who goes out on recruiting hunts, right? Like kind of like once it gets bigger, like Holland, is it like Nori, right? That's the
Alan
guy who's
Nori,
in
yeah.
Andor. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Like,
little
what
spy
about
master
having
guy.
just multiple of them? Because that's the Andoran guy. Like going on like.
Yeah, he would have
the
had
amount of,
multiple Toms underneath him. He would have made a spy network. I agree.
Yeah, I fucking love that.
Tom Maryland would have made a great campaign manager for city councilman, but Rand's running for president.
There would be no place for Asmodean if Tom were there with Rand. Yes and no. Asmodean was really there for the power part.
He was the small advisor. Got to get rid of him. Got to get rid of Moraine. Replace
Because
him.
Asmodean was
Get rid
playing
of
and
him.
being his court bard, I guess is what you're saying. You can't have
No,
two
but
court
I
bards
think
hanging around.
What the fuck? What the fuck? That would have been ludicrous.
That's insane. He's got two guys. This guy's playing the harp. That guy's playing the lute. Get the fuck out of here. What does he need?
One's
a full band?
doing high champ but rapping, and it's about ditty parties. We can't have it.
Diddy party's back again.
Anyway, I like how this. I mean, the main point of this chapter is how easily Matt's diverted. Basically, he's like, "I gotta go right now," and he's like, "Right now, Matt? It's the middle of the night. Like, it's just it can wait till morning." He's like, "You're right. It can wait till morning." And you're like, "God damn! That was so easy to divert him like that quick to like stick
It's
it
not
around."
even Tavern, because I would do the same thing. If I was up all night drinking and gambling,
I would
and then
probably do the
somebody
same
would
thing
have, like,
too.
At least,
But I just think
go to
I don't know.
sleep
I
and do
think
it
it's
tomorrow,
I think
I
it's
would.
Taviran, but I also think Tom's just playing with him in the sense that like that he's like I don't know, kind of just because he's worried that he also is not maybe not currently, but he could be caught up with Rand's Taviran this, and he's like, I wonder how difficult it would be to get away if I needed to get away, and he kind of like shoves Matt in that direction just to test the waters almost, and then he's like,
I
oh
love
fuck,
it.
that worked way too easily. That worries me. But then he's like, but at the same time, I'm not that worried because if this is what I am and this is what it turns out to be, then I've repaid a
Fulfilled
15-year-old debt kind of thing.
Yeah, I love everything Tom's doing here, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think first off, I may just start putting notes in your fucking pockets that just say like, "Beware, your husband suspects." Like, what a dirty fucking thing to send to anyone. Like, amazing, absolutely amazing. Just gonna like start putting that business card in anyone's pocket.
But then wouldn't the person that finds it just be like, "Is my husband having an affair with somebody that was born in 1862?"
Why
Beware.
is it sealed with wax?
At least do a fake text. Don't do a
At
fake
least
note.
text me from his phone.
I said beware.
Okay.
Fun, fucking love it. Everything
no,
about
it's
it, absolutely amazing.
Well, to your point earlier, Jono, you're like,
No, all you have to do is
I
go to
would
Victoria's
love this
Secret,
chapter to
buy
continue.
lingerie, and then
Yeah.
keep the receipts, and then drop that in literally anyone's bag that you see anywhere.
Yeah.
It's easy. You just start ruining lives of people you haven't even met.
I have.
All right. Asmodean was there for channeling. He comes with two bards. You know.
I love that.
I always
That's a
wanted Asmodean
wonderful-
to meet Tom too, Christian rapper. I think that would have been kind of interesting.
I would be fascinated by that.
Yeah.
Also,
do
I
too.
love the fact that we have relevant point and then disgusting point. You guys disgust me.
I mean, that's
Sexual.
the way our show goes, you know.
How
Yeah,
dare you?
as-
What?
as-
Anyway,
Alive in the Age of Legends, and then like alive forever. And his only goal was to be alive to study music for all time and space. And then he came back from the bore and just played music, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's pretty good."
what have I done with my curse?
I used to be really good back then.
Nothing.
Do you think he comes out with the "I'm gonna
Like, you
live
think Tom
forever"
would meet
thing?
and be like, "Man, look at the way you play the harp. That's incredible." Instead, they're just like, "Yeah."
Tom would just be like, no, I feel like it'd be the other way around. I feel like Asmodean would be like, look what you've done with that harp. Back when we were playing instruments, we didn't do anything like that. Anyway, I met this Damani woman. We made a wager with, and she had eyes that could drink a man's soul, and the fat red bird with a beak that's nearly half its body within her, but to tell the future. And then the chapter ends.
Hold on. Is Asmodean Beethoven from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure?
Yeah. He would have been super excited with the guitar riffs. That would have been like, you know that new sound you're looking for? Listen to this.
Oh, that's true. Dude. It's just Marty McFly from Back to the Future.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Oh shit, Tom. What year did you get married?
It doesn't matter. That's tWoTcast for this week. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. tWoTcast theme songs brought to you by the one and only Taffy Bennington and legendary Andrew Bard of Time. Links to all their stuff is below. Join us next episode for The Wheel of Time, covering The Shadow Rising, chapters 5 through ? Because I don't know yet.
That's my fault.
7.
Let's say Joe. Say goodnight, Jono.
Good night, Jono.
And Tom.
Study your math.
Keep the change,
Yeah.
you filthy animals.
Among the first to start, the tWoTcast was so smart to lovingly bash our favorite books. But that was long ago, and now they've grown the show, and now they got us in their hooks. Don't throw coins to these bastards, they need bars of gold at least. Someone please keep them afloat. Now let's listen as they once again ramble through a book. Let's get a fucking quote. One of them is Tom, but he is barely on. Sometimes he calls into the show. Another one is Jono. Is he their joker? Oh no. And Joe, is he the stupid one? Welcome to the tWoTcast. We will share our love for books and all our hate in every episode. We'll entertain you, make you laugh so hard you barely can stand up. That is the tWoTcast code.